Has Kai Havertz confirmed his move to Chelsea on the same day that Chelsea Football Club, RB Leipzig, and Timo Werner announced the signing of the German striker? It's an interesting story. We're going to delve into it in a little bit more detail. As ever, I want your views. I want your opinions. I want to know what you're thinking and you are feeling. I hope you're all doing good as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful Thursday afternoon. The Premier League is back. Football is back. And Chelsea, I've got to say, Chelsea look like they are doing an absolute madness. I really mean this. They look like they're doing an absolute madness. They really do. And I for one, as a Man United fan watching on, I'm jealous. I'm genuinely jealous of what I see them doing. I really am. Kai Havertz could be next on the list. And all this is kind of stemming from the fact that he has reportedly today liked a tweet. He has reportedly today liked a tweet from a Chelsea fan commenting and saying, announce Havertz. You can see there the clip. You can see there a little snippet. He has come out and liked this tweet from somebody else saying, announce Kai Havertz. Now, it could be an accident. It could have been a slip of the finger. It could just be a mistake. Maybe he didn't mean to do it. Maybe his PR team made a mistake. But is this just a little message to say, this is what I want. This is what I'm pushing for. I want to be part of this Chelsea rejuvenation. And that's what we're looking at here. We are looking at a refurb, a rejuvenation, gentrification. This is Chelsea are being cleaned up. Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, two of the most sought-after talents in football, it has to be said. If you want to call the show right now, do me a big favor. The link's in the stream. The StreamYard link is below. You can call in. You can come on and have your say. We'll give you you get a couple of minutes to say what you want. If you're really good and it's intriguing what you got to say, you may get yourself that little bit longer. We might get a few of our regulars on as well if they are about. I want to know what you're thinking and feeling in relation to this. I really do. What's a few people here got to say? You're always going to get a bit. I love the stick. Let's see what's being said here. Let's see some of these comments. Chelsea are doing business early, and that is good, is what Luke Tucker thinks. Yeah, listen, Chelsea are doing amazing business. And rivals can scoff at it. Rivals can be angry about it. Rivals can say and do what they want. But this is serious business, it has to be said. We're going to click here on Chelsea are back. I think it's Dark Side User, actually. But there we go, mate. What do you make of this piece of business by Chelsea? First of all, Timo Werner this morning, and maybe Kai Havertz coming in.
I think it's fantastic news for Chelsea. I think we've needed another striker to help Tammy because I don't think Giroud and Batshuayi are good enough anymore. But I just think I just want to know how Kai would fit in. I mean, I'm excited, but I don't know. I can't wait to see it.
For me, he'd be a number 10. He'll come in and replace Mason Mount as the standard number 10 within your team. It's where he plays. I think that's where Chelsea will get most use from him. He predominantly picks up the same areas of the pitch that Bruno Fernandes does. That right-hand side of the attacking midfield. Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, that type of role is what he'll take up. He's a goal scorer. He's a creator. I'd be interested to see what the money is, because earlier on in the week, Chelsea were looking at offering, I think, no more than, say, 60, 70 million. And maybe that's why Havertz is doing this. He's trying to push this agenda to get out sooner rather than later. But it's certainly a massive bit of business. And these deals are getting closer and closer. And as a Chelsea fan, how do you feel, not just ahead of next season, but how do you feel this will impact the remainder of this campaign for you as well?
I think the team will play really good. I think there's going to be a really good feel factor around the club. And I can't wait for the first game against Aston Villa. I think we'll score 3 goals in. So I'm feeling confident.
There we go, mate. Listen, thank you very much for coming on as normal. We'll chat to you again soon, mate. Take care of yourself. Next up, we have we're going to go to Kem here. How you doing, mate? How you doing, buddy?
Good. You?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Timo Werner announced this morning.
Yeah.
Now this the Kai Havertz deal's floating around, and I'm one of these people where I don't just believe it. I don't just believe coincidentally that his management team have accidentally clicked on a like button. There's I always believe these things have an element of truth to them, whether it's the player trying to push a move through or something else. How do you feel about this?
I mean, I'm not trying to read too much into it. It's just a tweet. Someone said announce Havertz. He liked it. Apparently, his management unliked it. So, I mean, they're saying around 100 mil for him around. But I think since he has like one more year left on his deal next year, his evaluation would drop. So I think, I mean, Chelsea. I think we will get him eventually if it's this window or next window. I mean, it's just a matter of time, really. A lot of clubs are interested. Real Madrid. I think Bayern pulled out like 2 or 3 days ago. So I mean, that's good news. So, I mean, I think it's it would be a good fit for Chelsea. Very versatile. Can't just play at the 10. Can play like a shadow striker, on the right, left. Obviously, at his 10 as well. So I think it would be a good signing if we get him.
And how big an improvement is he on Mason Mount?
I think he's a step up from Mason Mount. I think he's way more creative than Mason Mount. I've always felt that Mason Mount isn't really a 10. He's more of a 8. I don't think he does have those creative abilities in the midfield, but I think he doesn't have the creative ability that we need in that midfield. I think Havertz just brings that immediately with the assist and the goals and the runs into the box and stuff like that. I think it's a big step up from Mount.
There we go. No, listen, I agree. I think it's. I mean, I'm not. The Mason Mount thing is going to be interesting. Whether I know he has played in a more central midfield role on a number of occasions. I suppose it depends what happens with Kovacic and of course Kante. You've also got the situation. The Jorginho situation is an interesting one for Chelsea because if Kovacic left, you've got some players that can make up that position. Loftus-Cheek could come back in. Mason Mount, you mentioned. I don't feel like you have anybody else in your team that could play Jorginho's role, where you could play Kante back in a sort of CDM, DM role, but he's a different type. He isn't going to orchestrate and control a midfield, control the ball.
Or like Billy Gilmore, maybe.
Yeah, he could. It's the only issue you have with Billy Gilmore. I think he's a very talented boy. The only issue you have is this element of experience at that level.
Yeah,
very, very young. I always feel, generally speaking, like Joe Gomez and Trent are doing brilliantly as youngsters in defensive positions. Kind of look what they have around them. There's so much experience. Billy Gilmore, he might go in and do it, and if he does, and he goes and bosses it, fair play to him. I don't know. I just don't. It's hard. I can't remember the last time a player of that age run and control a midfield. The last guy I remember seeing playing that regularly in a central midfield role was probably in the Premier League at the highest level. Cesc Fabregas, maybe. Who was doing it at 16, 17, a little bit younger. But you've got to remember how long ago that was. That was 15 years ago. So it is quite rare in terms of that. But, mate, listen, I appreciate you coming on again, having your say. We'll chat to you again soon.
Thank you.
Top man, bye-bye. Next up, we have I'm the Source. This will be an interesting one. I'm the Source. What are you saying, bro?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect, mate. What's on your mind? Kai Havertz, Timo Werner in a day or two? How amazing would that be?
I'm a bit conflicted, to be honest, because Timo Werner is a great signing, and obviously he can be put in striker on the left wing. But then when you have Kai Havertz coming in and you think about where he's playing, you're a bit like, so what does that mean for like Mount or Rumour Loftus-Cheek or like everything in the midfield? Because we have so many midfield players, you're just thinking like one of those have to go, or two of those, or even three of those have to go, whether it's Jorginho or Barkley, those two. Then we think about Mount and like Rumour Loftus-Cheek, like as a fan, I get a bit worried because like those are our players and like letting one of them goes a bit, it's like it hurts a bit, you know what I mean?
Mate, I hear you. I've been asking this question for days now, and a lot of Chelsea fans want to ignore it. Like you can play 13 players at once. There'll be casualties. I think the Barkleys and the Barkleys will be gone. In my view, he'll be out of the team. Who else did you mention? Yeah, Giroud and Batshuayi, Pedro, William. These guys are all gone. Some of them, their contracts are up. Others will be sold to make space, and then it becomes about who you keep. And I think Jorginho will be a must keep for Chelsea. The Kante situation is interesting. Kovacic, you've got Mason Mount, you've got Loftus-Cheek, you then got to fit into your midfield role with Billy Gilmore. You kind of got 6 midfielders to go into those 6 positions there that you then have to sort out. From an attacking point of view, it then clears things up. If you William, Pedro, Batshuayi, Giroud, if they go, you then got Werner as your main striker, Tammy is his backup, or you can play them both together in a situation where you have the support striker in Timo Werner. But if Kai Havertz comes in, he's a number 10. I know a lot of people say he can play up front, he can play on the wing. People get confused on that because they see where players hover. He's not a winger, he's a number 10. That is where he's the most effective. So you want to play these players in their specialist positions. But I think it's a great problem for Chelsea to have. You know, if you right now, you know, there really isn't that strength in depth. These three signings you're looking at landing, and then you're gonna do this to your back line as well. That's the hope, isn't it? That you go out there and you get that left back, you get that centre back.
I'm a bit concerned about that, to be honest. Because
why?
I know we have money to spend, but let's say we get Kai Havertz for what, 80 mil. So we've spent around 150 plus, and let's say we get like one defender. That would be like 40 million. So we spend around 200 million. I don't see us spending any more than that for, like, let's say a keeper or a centre back. So then those two areas which we are trying to improve is being taken by really basically like a star or like a show-off side in Kai Havertz. Because really and truly, I don't really think we need Kai Havertz, in my opinion. We should focus more on a defender. And I don't really think our defenders are bad. I just feel like they're very average and you just need someone there to stand out. But Kai Havertz is like a flashy signing. I don't mind us having him, but he's not really a necessity. And it's just like, it's good, but then it kind of gives us problems at the same time where all the issues could be solved.
I hear that, mate. I hear that. Listen, buddy, thank you very much for coming on, and we'll chat to you again sometime.
No problem.
Take care, my man. Thank you. Really good points being made there. Absolutely. Blue_FT with a super chat for us. He says, woke up at 10 in the morning, turned on Sky Sports News. 60 seconds later, the breaking news that Chelsea signed Timo Werner. Over the moon, buzzing for next season. I bet you are. You've got to be. If you're a Chelsea fan right now and you're not buzzing, there's something wrong with you. Because I find it pointless to push to buy Havertz now. The season isn't over. Mason Mount and Rubish Loftus-Cheek have 9 games to prove themselves. After the season, he can decide. The problem you have is that you may not be able to sit on sit back and have that time. If Chelsea can pull off this signing now, all teams can pull off signings before the window opens. And imagine Chelsea don't make the bid now for Kai Havertz. Somebody else then convinces him to join there, and he joins Paris Saint-Germain. And then those 9 games go by, and those players don't prove themselves. And then Lampard's left with egg on his face. Sometimes you've got to strike while the iron is hot. Next up on the show, we're going to have Prime. Prime, welcome to the show, my man. What do you want to say?
Hello, Terry. Yeah, I'm just excited about the signing that's finally done and over the line now. And hopefully we can focus on getting a left back, maybe a centre back, which is important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, which of the two, centre back or left back, what would your preference be? If you could only get one.
Priority, I'd say left back. I don't think we need a centre back as much, unless it's a world-class centre back like Koulibaly. But other than that, I don't think we necessarily need a centre back, because I personally I would trust Zuma and Tomori to grow together and build up a partnership.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, as you say. There's no point buying the same level you already have. You need to go for a higher level. What do you make of what the last caller said, that he just can't see you signing sort of Ziyech, Werner, Kai Havertz, and then a world-class centre-back who's going to cost you 60, 70, 80 million as well? Do you think that's too much, or do you think Chelsea are willing to spend that level of dough?
I think it has to be smart and make sense. I think with Havertz, he'd be a good signing. Do we necessarily need him? Maybe. But I think most important, if we can get the centre-back, like Koulibaly, for example, I'd rather have that over a Kai Havertz. I'd rather have that world-class. I'd rather have that leadership in the team, because our team is too young at the moment. And with Willian and Pedro leaving, who are experienced, Giroud might be leaving as well. We need experience in the team, like what Liverpool have.
No, I do hear that. Prime, some really good points made by you. Thanks for coming on, bro. We'll chat to you again soon. Look after yourself, my brother. Thank you. We're going to jump through a few quick calls now. Welcome to the show, my friend. There he is in his Chelsea shirt, looking as pleased as punch. What's your thoughts on today's Chelsea news, my friend?
I was just surprised to have the Timo Werner signing, to be honest with you. That was forlorn. We already knew that was going to happen. The one thing I wanted to say before you cut me off, and if you find me boring, was 200 million you're going to get, okay? And you're spending maybe 160 million because 80 million is probably Kai Havertz and 80 million you spent on Ziyech and Werner. But you got to keep in mind that we got so many players that'll go off the wage bill, get sold for money. You already mentioned the names, Bakayoko, etc., etc. So we can still afford to sign one big-time player. I just hope that they don't go after Ben Chilwell. I really don't like him.
Who?
Ben Chilwell from Leicester.
You don't want Ben. What don't you like about Ben Chilwell?
I love him, but for the price they are going to demand from us, it's not worth it. There are so many other options that we're going to get. Okay, we can't go to Juventus and get Alexandro because they want Jorginho. And like you said, we got to keep Jorginho. That's the first priority. So what are the other options? David Alaba is a new rumor that's come about. He's sick of being at Bayern Munich. And then the other one is going to be Alex Telles. And I personally think the first option is Tagliafico from Ajax.
There we go. Listen, we'll put that to the audience. What do you make of what's being said there, mate? Appreciate you coming on, and you certainly wasn't boring. So appreciate you coming on, my man.
You take care.
Yeah, take care, mate. Next time we've got James.
Hi, Terry.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Playback. You're right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I'm getting. If you do me a favor, if you put some earphones in for us, because I'm hearing myself back. It's right in my ears. I'll get you back on in a second, bro. Next up, we've got Jamie. Jamie, welcome back to the show. What do you want to say?
I just want to talk about how good Chelsea's transfer window has been. If they signed all the players they've been linked to, they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with next season. They can probably challenge for the title next season. Yeah, I think they can win the title next season. I'm not even joking. Or at least make a title charge, I think. Especially, I don't think they need Havertz, though. I really don't think they need Havertz. That's just going to be like a flash signing for them. He's a brilliant player, don't get me wrong. One of the best cams in the world. Up there, I think Jack Grealish is so underrated, in my opinion. I've seen him in a couple of games. He's absolutely class. People don't think he's like that good. I really do. I think he is worth like 50 million for me. I don't think Havertz is that much better than like a Jack Grealish and James Maddison. I think he's like just like a bit up there, but like yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, it just depends though. I mean, Chelsea might be forced into getting Kai Havertz. Maybe they wanted one of these British players, but they don't want to join Chelsea. So I think it's a real interesting one there. But Jamie, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your play as always. Who we're going to have on next here? Let's throw on Ted. Ted's been waiting a while. What do you want to say, bro?
Listen, if you're a Chelsea fan, the last few days have been amazing. Amazing. I mean, yesterday, Agent David Luiz going to Arsenal, doing what he does. This morning, us signing Havertz. Werner, being linked with Havertz. I mean, it's been surreal. Absolutely incredible. Although, I do have something to say on Havertz, though. If Chelsea do go and sign him, it will be amazing. The amount of options we have up top will be good. But that's not what we need right now. What we do need is a left back and a goalkeeper. I mean, what do you think about that?
Emerson, is he not good enough?
Listen, I had hopes for Emerson at the beginning of, towards the end of last season when he was performing well against Sarri. He was good. The beginning of this season, he started it off well. I think he was one of the best left backs at the beginning of the season, the first 5 games. He got an injury. I can't remember against which team, against City, I think, or something like that. He got that injury. After that, he started declining in performances. That's when you started seeing Aspilicueta playing at left back. Alonso is a good wing back. He's a good wing back. He can't play as a left back because he's slow, he's lanky, he's tall, he runs. You know the way he does. He can't play as a left back. So in my opinion, we should go for a left back. Among those options, I've been seeing us linked with Chilwell, Tagliafico, Terrace. Now, among those options, Chilwell is the one who's the front runner right now. I think we've been linked to him for around 60 million, if I'm not wrong. I wouldn't sign Chilwell because I don't think he's as good as most people say. I mean, he's a good left back, but just not for 60 million. I think that's what the previous caller said. He's a good left back, but not for the price he's been touted. Terrace is a good left back, but he isn't as defensive as you'd like him to be. If you see him playing for Port, I think I went through his highlights a few days ago.
Yeah.
He's a very good cross of the ball. He's a very good pass of the ball. He can get into the box and score, but he isn't as good defensively. We then go to Tagliafico, who, in my opinion, is the guy you should go for. He's a very good player going forward. He's a very good player defensively. And that's not those are not his stats being like overrated because he plays in the Eredivisie. This is a guy who in the Champions League has put up very good numbers. Even against us, when we played him in that game, he put up very good numbers. So for me, that's the best option we should go for. I mean, if you can get a Havertz, fine. But in my opinion, we shouldn't go, if it's the main priority, no, just leave it alone. Go for a left back or a goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, listen, really good points there. Chelsea fans listening, what do you make of what Ted has said? We appreciate you coming on the show, mate, and having your say, mate. Some really good points. Take care, my bro. Next up on here, we have CJ. CJ, welcome to the show.
What's good, Terry?
Yeah, I'm good, my man. What do you make of all this Chelsea news today?
Man, okay, I like that Timo Werner signing. It's great news for Chelsea fans, right? But everybody calm down. Terry, we need Havertz, bro. We need him. Mason Mount is not a creative midfielder. He's good at pressing. That's why Lampard likes him a lot. He presses a lot. That's what he's good at. He works hard. He doesn't have no no ability at all. Havertz we need him in that midfield. So we need to buy him. Chilwell, I don't want Chilwell. He's overrated. I think the 85 million he's too overrated because he's English. We need Tagliafico. That's what we need. Or Alex Telles. Those are cheaper options and they are much better than Ben Chilwell.
I hear that. Well, we're gonna add Josh here to the script. What's that noise,
hello.
Bro? Hello, Josh. We've obviously got a CJ on here, Chelsea fan, just like yourself, who said that Kai Havertz is a must because Mason Mount doesn't have the ability to do the job. What's your thoughts? Do you think this link with Kai Havertz is just too much of a spectacular signing that's not needed, or is it imperative to fix that number 10 role?
I would agree. I think it's a really good signing. I think that Mason Mount is a good player, but Havertz is an amazing player. And I hope he fulfills his potential with that. So I think it's a good signing and a big statement. That's the main thing. A statement to the other clubs.
Absolutely. And what did you make of the Timo Werner deal this morning?
Very happy with the Werner deal. I thought it was going to go up the line, and I'm happy that it's official now. And we needed it. Abraham's a good player, but Werner is at another level, like Havertz is. And I think it's not just about the individual signings; it's the statement that the vision that Lampard is building. That I saw when Lampard was signed as our manager. I believed in his vision because he knows Chelsea, and I know that he wants us to be the best. And that's what I see about building his team, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with both of you on the Mason Mount thing. He isn't good enough in that position to start week in, week out to make you Premier League champions, and that has to be the goal is to be Premier League champions.
Terry, another thing too, it's not like we need to rush. We still have time. The season still need to end, and Lampard need to assess the squad a little bit, and then we can make that decision in the summer. It's not like we have a whole lot of time.
No, I totally agree with both of you. Listen, both of you, thank you very much for coming on, having your say, and we'll chat to you both again very, very soon. We're going to do a couple more calls before the end of this stream. Rams on the show here. Liverpool fan must be feeling gutted right now. Must be feeling gutted.
Yeah, thanks for.
Well, the reason I say that is like both of these players have been heavily linked with from sort of January right through until around March. They were your players.
I wouldn't say that. I think Timo Werner definitely was one of our players, and we were very heavily interested in him. Kai Havertz was a little bit of a push. I don't think we were interested in him. I think quite a lot of the attributes were sort of associated with a Klopp type of player. But yeah, I think if Chelsea get him, it will be an incredible signing. In terms of, I kept on hearing people saying creativity. I don't think Kai Havertz is a creative kind of player. I don't think what people are seeing in him is like a creative player. I see more of a Michael Ballack in him, a guy that has a lot of power and has a lot of intelligence, and that he's very good on the ball. He likes to make a couple really good passes, really good key passes, and likes to be direct, which is good. But honestly, I really don't see Chelsea as a strong side unless they sort out their defense. Like they got a goalkeeper that is, to be frank, useless. If a 35-year-old Willy Caballero is getting in ahead of you, there must be something wrong with the goalkeeper. I've been hearing a lot of Alex Telles. Honestly, I don't think he'll be good for Chelsea because a lot of the games I saw him in, I'll give you one good example. I was watching Rangers versus Porto, and Ryan Jack always targeted that left-hand side of Porto, and that's how they came out with their goals. I think it was a cross from Ryan Jack to Morelos, in which they scored their first goal, and then everything went tits up for Porto. I think Chilwell's decent, but again, it's the price. It's too much money, £60 million. I think Chilwell's a good player, but is he the guy that will take you that step forward? Is he like a Marcus Rashford's caliber player? No, definitely not. I think they should be targeting. I think Tagliafico is a great shout. I think he's a very good player. I think he needs to prove himself in a bigger league. And yeah, honestly, I don't see Chelsea as a massive threat unless they sort out their backline. They can sign Havertz, they can sign Lewandowski. I really couldn't care less. They just need to sort out their backline, and then they'll be a force to be reckoned with, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, I get a lot of the points you're making. I'm not going to judge the players I don't know much about at all. I have seen a lot of I've seen quite a few ex-Liverpool pros, a few of the Liverpool-based pundits be really sort of salty towards, some even criticizing Chelsea for spending big money during this supposed financial crisis for football clubs. Is that just the Liverpool press trying to play down and make your decision to not sign Werner look better, or do you agree? Do you think Chelsea are irresponsible to spend this kind of money during these difficult times?
I honestly don't think it's irresponsible. I mean, they've had so much cash reserves from obviously the Eden Hazard deal. I think the Alvaro Morata deal will be triggered this summer. I think there's a lot of bitterness. I think it is a lot of bitterness when Chelsea had their ban for signing some underage kids. There was a lot of hostility towards Chelsea from the media, and now that is come to bite them in the back, and now they're going to sign whoever the hell they want to sign. I think the media are a little bit like, "Oh, Liverpool didn't want this player. Oh, he wouldn't be good for this player." But I think Kai Havertz will be a great player, but they need to act quickly, because I know Lothar Matthäus and Karl-Heinz Rummenigge have been talking up about Kai Havertz, and obviously Karl-Heinz Rummenigge is the sporting director of Bayern, and that he's very interested in him.
No, I totally get that. Ram, listen, mate, appreciate you coming on as always. We'll chat to you again soon. Take care. And to close the show for us now, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by one of our very special, one of our favorite callers on the show. It's Elite Opinions. What you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I've had a couple days to reflect on the Premier League football. Just seeing some of these signings. I said earlier a couple weeks ago about Werner being a nice, cute signing for Chelsea. Nothing threatening, if I'm being honest. If they...
I think what you actually said is that he was better off staying at Leipzig, because Leipzig will win major trophies before Chelsea.
Yeah. I warned the guy. He can't say it's my fault. I warned him about moving to Chelsea. I mean, you know the curse of their strikers. You've got City and Liverpool challenging for the next decade. I don't see what was the lure of him joining Chelsea other than it's in London, if I'm being honest. But with the signing of Kai Havertz, yeah, I think Kai Havertz is someone I rate. You know, I rate players that aren't just like that. Forget goal getters. I highly rate players that like creative. And Kai Havertz, I've seen him play for Leverkusen for a couple of weeks now. He's a great player. If you sign him for 50 mil, you can get a good mil of him. But I'm seeing 100 mil. He's not worth 100 mil.
Yeah, I've said I don't think he's worth 100 mil at this moment in time, but I suppose value is dependent on who you are. You know, in relation to the Timo Werner situation, I mean, there's a lot. I've seen a lot of stuff on socials. People, because Chelsea's signing of strikers is interesting because for every Didier Drogba and Costa they've had a Shevchenko and a Morata. It really feels that it's hit or miss when it comes to the Chelsea strikers. How well do you think he'll do this season? 32 goals, 13 assists.
I honestly don't see him getting more than 15. Out of 15 at best, probably 11 or 12 he gets.
Well, goals in the league or in total?
Yeah, in the league, I think he's going to get 11 or 12 goals because even players like the last striker to actually do well at Chelsea was Diego Costa, and he came to Chelsea 6-7 years ago. So that tells you all you need to know. It's a curse, and honestly, it's a good thing. It's his fault for joining Chelsea. I warned him. You join Chelsea, you're better off joining Bayern. You're better off taking your trophies when you come. You join Chelsea, you're just asking for trouble, aren't you? Really?
Yeah. Look,
This isn't the Chelsea of all those. This isn't the Chelsea that's used to winning trophies now. This is a Chelsea that's looking to build from the beginning. I'm sorry.
I get that, but Lampard plays very good football. Werner is dynamite. Let's have it right. Werner is dynamite, bro. He is a top.
You know, Terry, can we just talk about this thing about Lampard playing great football?
Who's it? Okay, go on. What about it?
You know, there's this misconception that Lampard plays great attacking football. I watched it. I just during this lockdown, I watched 3 or 4 games, like really good, intense games that should show. So I watched one game where he played against Liverpool in the Super Cup. That's where his thing was, basically where his football style was birthed. Yeah, and the Super Cup was Liverpool. And then I watched him against against Arsenal in 2-1 win. All these games, they've had 5-10 minute spells where they really apply pressure, and then they sit back. They can't sustain the pressure for that long. So when they compare their football to Klopp or like a Nagelsmann, it's nowhere near that. It's a good 5-10 minute spell of just constant pressure and easing off, constant pressure and easing off. I don't see where this well-renowned attacking football is coming from. His football is nothing to be, wow, he played attacking football. It's a bit overrated for me, if I'm being honest.
What were the results against Spurs like this season?
Yes. Look, I guess for Lampard against Chelsea, against Spurs.
Yeah. How did you get on against them?
Yes, we lost 2-0. We lost 2-1. But forget about us. I'm not trying to play down him. I'm trying to say it's a bit overrated. I'm trying to say his football is not as great as it is.
Interesting, mate.
You saw him against United.
Yeah, look, it's true. Man United and Ollie's tactics have got a number on him, but this is what happens in football sometimes. Let's give it a couple of seasons until we overtly judge. The reason I say this, I'll give you an example. Man United under Ollie from the start have been excellent against Chelsea. We've been pretty good against Man City. We've even held our own, especially at home, twice now against Liverpool, who are the best team in the world.
Yeah.
But whenever we play Arsenal, who are trash, we struggle. And I think that's the issue here. Like sometimes there might be a style of play that you just struggle against. So Lampard's style might just not work great against the way Ollie does things, but that doesn't mean he's not a very good manager.
Yeah, I feel like he really struggles against counter-attacking sides that want him to come at him. That's the problem I see with him. Like Ole's football, you could say more or less he played counter-attacking against Chelsea.
Yeah, no, I get that. Listen, we've got a couple of people that come back in here. Prime, we're going to have Prime back here. It looks like he wants to say something to you, but the way he's come back. Prime, I assume you've got something to say to Elite Opinions.
Yeah. Chelsea have created, the third most chances in the Premier League this season, so on par with Liverpool and Man City. So how is it that we don't play good brand of attacking football.
If you heard what I said you don't sustain attacks for that long. I've said you've had 5-10 minute spells.
Yeah, that is very true because we have a very young forward line.
That's exactly why football is overrated. It's not as great as it should be. It's not as great.
Plus, we've also had injuries in our attacking positions, but Ruben out for the whole season.
Yeah, there's no one said about
and Pulisic being injured as well for big spells of the season.
Listen, no one said about injuries. I've talked about your football is not as good as it is. I've talked about you have 5
injuries also affect your style of football.
Well, you shoulda, woulda, coulda. Doesn't mean that it's gonna happen in the future. I'm telling you, as it is right now, the football isn't as good as it is right now. Isn't as good as what's being made out to be. You've played against. I see the big games against Chelsea. I mean, against United, Liverpool, Man City. All 3 you've lost against. Where was football there? If you want
our games against United that we've lost, well, that's United play good counter-attacking football, and we've struggled against that this season, which is fair.
What about Man City? They play counter-attacking football.
Man City have one of the 2 best attacks in the Premier League.
Okay, Liverpool.
One of the other 2 best attacks in the Premier League.
Okay, West Ham.
A counter-attacking football.
West Ham are counter-attacking football.
But yes,
you're just
going to part of the reason why they beat us.
Counter-attacking football, not long ball football.
I mean, we beat Spurs twice this season. What is your solution to that?
You've just changed from West Ham to Spurs because I've just pointed out to you West Ham play long ball football, and you couldn't beat them. So where's the response there? You just point out Spurs to me. I've just pointed out West Ham. I can point out Newcastle as well. You lost there. Teams that play long ball football, you struggle against. And this notion that Chelsea play fast, fluid, attacking football, all press, 90 minutes, it's nothing to be seen at. 5-10 minutes.
I'm a Chelsea fan, and I haven't heard anyone say we play fast, fluid, constant attacking football.
Lampard's been absolutely loved. He's playing attacking football. Chelsea are back. Chelsea are this and that. Come on, you can't tell me no one's jizzed over Lampard's football. Let's be honest here.
Not everyone, no. Not everyone.
A lot of people go crazy about football. Football is nothing to be seen at. It's 5-10 minute spells. I'm gonna keep repeating this. It's 5-10 minute spells of constant pressure. He eases off. His team loses their football. It's nothing to be lauded about.
Well, that is true. That's also how Klopp started off with Liverpool, with 5-10 minute spells, and then they get gassed out. It's also how Pep started off in the Premier League in his first season. When they started out when they first started out.
Hello, Terry. Can you hear me?
Yes, mate, we can. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I've been wanting to stick to elite opinions for quite a long time because first of all, I'm not a big fan of Liverpool. I hate Liverpool. I'm not a big fan of United, but I'm open to a lot of opinions when people speak with a lot of facts and a lot of sense. Tottenham as a club, as a club, let's talk about Tottenham. Forget Chelsea. Tottenham as a club haven't won a trophy for over 10 years. Yeah?
I'm talking about your club's football.
We've created the second most chances in the league. Second most chances in the league. I think we're above City, if I'm not mistaken.
You're just talking.
They've spent millions and millions. So when he's talking about Lampard and play attacking football, he does. Because we're higher than Tottenham, first of all. We're second in the league for the chances created. We're quite high in terms of pass succession as well, attacking phase. So when he's talking about Lampard and play attacking football, I seriously don't know what he's talking about because
Can I respond?
Go on.
This is when I know your point is absolute BS. When I've talked to the fellow guy about Chelsea's football. You've brought no stats to me. You brought nothing of any real
second most chances created in the league.
I just debunked that by saying you have 5-10 minute spells. You can see in your football you play. The guy then said no to that.
Second most chances created in the league.
When I say that to you, you mentioned Tottenham. Where's the need to mention Tottenham Hotspurs?
Okay, I've got a question.
Okay,
if we only dominate
the 3 most attacking teams in the league.
Pardon?
Who are they? Name me the 3 most attacking teams in the league right now. Who are they?
Liverpool, Man City, and Tottenham.
See what I mean, Terry? He's deluded. He's deluded.
There's no delusion. I've just told you. I've told you the flaws in your football. And
I'll be honest with you.
I've told you the flaws in your football, and you just mentioned to me, "Oh, look what he did to Tottenham."
How does Spurs play attacking football under Mourinho?
1 second. I watched the show on, I think it was Sunday or Saturday when it was a Liverpool
You said the
show,
3 best
and you
attacks.
drank.
You
I think
didn't ask me how they play attacks. You said to me, what are the 3 best attacks? I've just said you don't have a great
I
attack.
don't believe anything you say. You said Lucas Moura is world class. After you said that, I gave up on you.
Look, you're talking out of your ass right now.
Lucas Moura is world
You're talking
class.
out of your ass. You're talking absolute BS. I'm talking about Lampard's football.
After you said Lucas Moura is world class, your opinion doesn't matter.
Listen to me. You're talking absolute random nonsense. I'm talking about Lampard's football. You've mentioned Tottenham. I'm talking about Lampard's football. You've mentioned. Oh, you talk about.
I'm trying to say.
This is when I know your point is absolute.
Doesn't matter anymore. You said. Did you say Lucas Moura is world class? Yes or no?
And then you've got this Liverpool fan who's just gonna come in and talk.
No, wait. Hang on, wait. Guys, stop. Wait.
On Ram.
Elite opinions. You said
Terry,
that.
did he say Lucas Moura is world class? Yes or no?
He did.
Wait.
Ram,
There
have
you
your
go.
have your story, Ram.
You said they have 15-minute spells of play where they do pressure and then they drop off.
Yeah.
Do you remember that 2012-2013 Borussia Dortmund side where Klopp was managing and spoke very highly of Frank Lampard of his style of football?
Okay.
They did the exact same thing. If you watch the Champions League final, they implemented that style of play. Where in the first 15 minutes they completely blitz them, then they sit back, and then they blitz them again. That's what you call attacking football. You can't keep on blitzing people for 45 minutes because it's just impossible unless you have
opinions.
Mateus's, where you could just be a machine for every single game and you have stamina for days.
Elite opinions. How is it that Chelsea has created the second most chances in the Premier League, but you say we dominate in 10, 15-minute spells? How does that correlate then?
You do though. You watch your own you watch your own team football.
No, but
then
how is it that we've created the second most chances in the Premier League?
Because
what is everyone else doing then?
Okay, I can ask a question. Because those 5 to 10 minute spells are really sustained pressure. No one's saying Lampard's football is absolute dog shit. We're saying his 5 to 10 minute spells are really good. They pressure teams. That's
we've given you facts. Give us a fact to prove you.
That's also
facts.
No.
You watched the game. I've just told you during lockdown. I've watched a number of Chelsea's full games.
How can you prove we've had 5 10-minute spells? Give me facts. Give me facts right now.
You can watch the game. How can I pinpoint to you what minutes?
It's not 5-10 minute spells. It's 10 to 15-minute spells,
so
which is a normal side. Which is normal for a normal side.
You want to cheers for that? So wait, let's go back to Ram's point about Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund, the reason why they were so successful is when they really sustained pressure and they had their 10-15 minute spells and they burned out. They knew how to regroup. They knew how to refocus their plan, not to just be a defensive.
Hang on, wait. Let me debunk that because they had one of the best defenders at that time in Mats Hummels.
So why are you comparing Dortmund to Chelsea then?
Because they played the exact same style of football.
Because I'm talking to you about
Klopp said it himself. Klopp said it himself. I see so much in Borussia Dortmund in Chelsea, the way they play football, the players that they have.
Elite.
That's what he said.
Ram, sorry, elite opinions. If a team has about 60% of the ball in a game and the most amount of attacks, would you say they've dominated the game?
If a team has what, sorry?
If I have the ball for, say, 60% of the game, and I also have my team has double the amount of attacks as you, would you say I've dominated the majority of the game?
60%. Fairly, you've overpowered the team. You haven't completely dominated them, but you've overpowered them.
The reason I said that, if Chelsea have 10 to 15 minute spells and then sit off for a bit and then back on again, that would give them around 60% of the ball and the most amount of chances. So when you break that down over a 90-minute game, they're dominating. That's all I would say. Everyone else who's come on, I just say thank you because we've got sorry to cut you off real quick. Everyone else who jumped on, elite opinions, appreciate. Listen, you always come on here instead of
no worries, man.
I do enjoy it. It is fun, mate. We're going to speak to you tomorrow night after the Tottenham Man United game. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Good luck, man. Take care of yourself, mate. Speak to you again soon. Bye. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Do me a big favor. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Subscribe right now to the Football Terrace. We really do need your support on this platform. It's massively important. Do us a favor as well. If you go into our description below right now, you'll see the app. You can download Hot Mic. Please get it downloaded with our promo code TFT, whether you're an Android user or an iPhone user. It's all available to you. Come check out our socials as well. Instagram at Terry Flewers. Twitter at Terry Flewers. Come check me out, or TFT Media. Come give us a little bit of a follow. It'll be amazing. But until next time, by the way, we had one new member join up. It was Safe. Thank you, Safe, for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. Until next time, take care of yourselves. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.